So I grew up incredibly active, played almost every sport imaginable: baseball, soccer, football, basketball. I actually started downhill alpine skiing at age 11 shortly after being diagnosed. My vision loss is a result of an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, which is essentially a pigment of my retina, which it's a degenerative eye disease, so my vision gets worse over time. Today, my vision is very similar to looking through a paper towel roll, so I have very restricted tunnel vision. So if I'm looking at someone right now in the daylight, I can see their eyes, but really nothing around their eyes. Right around my early 30s, I started just going for walks in a park during work. And one day I decided just to start running. So with all my work clothes on, I took a couple steps, ran for about a minute, realized I didn't fall, didn't hurt myself. A couple days later, I started running for 5 minutes and had the same reaction, and things just took off from there. I think 3 out of my first 4 marathons, I fell. I just looked at it as, a casualty of me deciding to run a marathon on my own. And that was well before I learned about this whole amazing network of sighted guides.
I have this gift of vision, and I love running so much. What an amazing opportunity to be able to sort of bridge that gap between people who want to go running but can't, and allowing them to lace up the shoes and leave their house and go for a run.
What I can't see is the terrain below me or the people around me, which is why I feel much more, supported and safer running with sighted guides.
My role as a guide is really just to be his eyes.
There's so many grade changes running in the city. You're either coming off of curbs or onto curbs or stepping off of curb cuts or stepping around people, that having guides there to support me in that makes it a much more enjoyable run.
You're usually tethered, so it's a rope or a shoelace. Kyle uses sort of what is a dog collar. There's 2 little loops around each side that you can put your fingers through.
Part of being a good guide is being faster than the person who you're guiding. So you're running slow enough to be able to both physically talk and call out the calls that you need to, but also process the information as it's coming toward you.
Medium step down. Right, there's bikes coming to the right. Straight, we got the train tracks, uneven ground. Running with Kyle is easy because he's super communicative, and he'll tell you, and I can tell him, I need to slow down. And I think if you find the right person to guide, then that communication is key. I like to also sort of explain what I'm seeing all around us. So if we're in the trails and there's a beautiful view or a pond, I like to explain what I'm seeing too, just to give some perspective, But you can't ever get lost in that, because you have to really pay attention to what's coming in front of you. Small steps here, ramp up, no steps. Good.
I think running for me has had as much of a mental impact and mental health impact as it has a physical impact as well. In the past 5 years, I've lost 60 pounds. All my health indicators have dropped. I was on the track to, for diabetes. I was already being pushed to take cholesterol medication, and all that is no longer an issue due to my running. This year will be my 4th consecutive Boston Marathon, and it is by far the most prestigious marathon in the world. And it's hard not to want to run the marathon that's also that prestigious, but it's in my backyard. So my plan on Marathon Monday is to run 2 marathons, double Boston. So I am starting at about 5 o'clock in the morning at the finish line and running from the finish line to Hopkinton. And then once my corral and wave starts, I will run back in as part of the official marathon.
Knowing Kyle, I expect this kind of thing. He's always just pushing his boundaries.
I get scared and nervous before every race, particularly a race of 52 plus miles. Your nutrition, your fuel, your legs, your body, you never know how it's going to play out for that long distance. But that's part of the game.
So I'm going to meet Kyle at the start line. So he'll have already run a full marathon.
I know that I'll be so tired on the return trip that pace will no longer be an issue, so I'm really gonna take in that crowd support.
Guiding makes something that is like a solo sport much more of a team sport. You know, you're in it together. When he crosses that finish line on Marathon Monday, it is just gonna be a feeling of we did it, you know, and it's gonna be an awesome feeling.
I feel that limits are set up to be pushed through and pushed over. Are there days that I get frustrated that I fall or bang into things? Certainly, but that just challenges me to kind of continue moving forward and get up, dust myself off, and just get after it. I'd much rather fall and get hurt and continue doing it than not try.